So now we proceed to rate problems. So number 1, 2 cars travel at a rate of 50 miles per hour and 30 miles per hour respectively. The faster travels 2 hours more than the other and goes 140 miles further. Find the distance traveled by each. So in solving rate problems, it is important na i-draw mo or illustrate mo yung mismong problem. Gawa ka ng diagram ganun. So mag-draw muna tayo. Mag-let muna tayo. Let x be the distance traveled by car A, which is yung faster car. And let x minus 140 be the distance traveled by car B, which is yung slower car. So sa illustration natin, let's say ito yung car A. This is car A and this will be your car B. For example, dito sila nag-end. So yung na-travel ni car A is equal to x until here. And then yung na-travel ni car B, diba si A kasi meron siyang additional na 140 miles na na-travel. So sabihin natin na ito yung 140 miles. This is the 140 miles additional na na-travel ni X. So yung equation mo for the distance traveled by your car B will now be equal to X minus 140. Tama? So this is, yung whole na to is X. So kung isubtract mo yung 140 miles na additional na na-travel ni A, that will be the distance traveled by B. So this distance was traveled at 2 hours. So yung whole na distance na to was traveled at time T. So that yung time na nag-travel ni B ng X minus 140 na distance will now be equal to T minus 2. Because yung whole na to is T and then na-travel niya ng 2 hours yung 140 miles. So the distance traveled by car B was at T minus 2 na time. So we are in example number 2 for rate problems. A boatman rows to a place 4.8 miles with the stream and back in 14 hours, but finds that he can row 14 miles with the stream in the same time as 3 miles against the stream. So find the rate of the stream. Okay, so mag-let muna tayo ng mga parameters natin. So let V1 be equal to the velocity with the stream. The velocity of the boatman. The velocity of boatman. And then V2 be equal to the velocity of the stream. So that is the velocity of the stream. So in solving rate problems involving streams or rivers, we need to remember this formula. So we have V1 plus V2 is equal to the velocity with current, and then V1 minus V2 is the velocity against naman ito. So against current. Or pwede rin siya upstream and downstream. So kapag upstream, ibig sabihin ito with current siya, and then kapag upstream, against current siya, and then kapag downstream naman with current. Basta yung direction mo is with the direction of the flow of the water. So gagamitin mo with current. And kapag naman sumasalungat ka sa direction ng flow ng water, ibig sabihin you are against the current. So these are the two formulas you need to remember in solving rate problems. So now, okay, so from our first statement sa problem natin, a boatman rows to a place 4.8 miles with the stream and back in 14 hours. Okay, so 14 hours. Yung time niya to travel with the current and the time to travel against the current is equal to 14 hours. So, ibig sabihin, yung T, sabihin na lang natin na with current plus T against current is equal to 14 hours. Now, remember yung recalls yung formula ng velocity natin. We have distance over time. And since yung parameter natin dito is time, we can write the formula of velocity as T is equal to distance over velocity. So, following this equation, we have distance with current over velocity with current plus distance against current over velocity against current is equal to 14. Now, yung distance nila is the same lang, which is 4.8 miles kasi with the stream and then back, okay? So, we can rewrite this as 4.8 over. Now, for your velocity with current, gagamitin natin yan. So, we have V1 plus V2 plus, since same sila ng distance, we can write this as 4.8 over the velocity against current, yung formula niya, which is equal to, yung formula ng velocity against current, which is equal to V1 minus V2 equal to 14. So, mag-simplify na ulit tayo. We have, kunin natin yung LCD muna. We have V1 plus V2 times V1 minus V2. And then, so, V1 plus V2 times V1 minus V2 divided by V1 plus V2 is equal to V1 minus V2 multiplied by the numerator. So, V1 minus V2. And then plus 4.8 times V1 plus V2 equal to 14. Now, mag-simplify ulit tayo. We have, distribute natin si 4.8. So, 4.8 V1 minus 4.8 V2 plus 4.8 V1 plus 4.8 V2 over, simplify na rin natin to. We have V1 squared and then minus V1 V2 plus V1 V2 and then minus V2 squared equal to 14. So, pwede nating i-cancel si negative 4.8 V2 and then positive 4.8 V2 as well as si negative V1 V2 and positive V1 V2. So, we will be left with 4.8 V1 plus 4.8 V1. That will be equal to 9.6 V1 over V1 squared minus V2 squared equal to 14. And then simplifying further, cross-multiplying denominator sa kabilang side. So we have 9.6 V1 is equal to 14 V1 squared minus 14 V2 squared. So, dinistribute ko na siya agad. And then, okay, so this will be our equation number 1. Okay, so that is our equation number 1. Let us now go to the second statement of the equation in our problem. But finds that he can row 14 miles with the stream in the same time as 3 miles against the stream. So, ibig sabihin, yung time niya to travel with the stream with current is equal to the time to travel against the current. So just like our formula kanina na time is equal to distance over velocity, so yun yung gagamitin natin dito. Okay, so yung distance niya with the current over the velocity with the current is equal to distance against the current over the velocity against the current. Now, yung distance na niya is hindi na siya magkapareho, though given naman. So, this will be equal to 14 miles with the stream. So, ibig sabihin, this is 14 over velocity with the current. We have V1 plus V2, given yan kanina, equal to 3 miles against the stream. So, distance is 3 miles. And then, V1 minus V2. Ngayon, simplify natin siya. Cross-multiply. Okay, so this will be equal to 14 V1 minus 14 V2 equal to 3 V1 plus 3 V2. And then, mag-simplify na tayo. We have 14 V1 minus 3 V1. Transpose natin si positive 3 V1 to the right, to the left side. And then, equal to 3 V2. And then, transpose natin si negative 14 V2 to the right side. That will be equal to positive 14 V2. And then, 14 V1 minus 3 V1 is equal to 11 V1, and then 3 V2 plus 14 V2 is equal to 17 V2. Now, from there, gagawa ulit tayo ng equation of V1 in terms of V2. So, that will be equal to 17 over 11 V2. So, this will serve as your equation number 2. So, from there, we can substitute equation 2 to equation 1. So, we have 9.6 and then V1 is equal to 17 over 11 V2 equal to 14 times 17 over 11 V2 squared minus 14 V2 squared. And then we have 9.6 times 17 over 11 V2 is equal to 14.836. So, renound off ko na siya into 3 decimal places. So, 14.836 V2 equal to 14 times 17 over 11. 17 over 11 squared siya ha. So, this will be equal to 33.418 V2 squared minus 14 V2 squared. So, we can simplify. We have 14.836 V2 equal to 33.418 minus 14 V2 squared is equal to 19.418 V2 squared. So, we can cancel yung isang V2 dito. So, when you divide both sides by V2, makakancel yan and then matatanggal yan. So, we are left with only one V2. So, solving for V2, we have 14.836 over 19.418 is equal to V2. So, your V2 is now equal to 0.79. Ano yung unit niya? Rate. So, ibig sabihin, kapag rate, we have miles per hour. So, that will be your rate of the stream.